We started this nursery, and now we're doing about 150,000 grafted trees a year.
You find they're more superior in terms of how often they fruit, disease resistance, and
Oh, for sure. I'm finding that the older varieties are way, what's the word, stronger.
So as for the trees here, I see the soil you're using. Is it any special soil that you use?
Yes, we have that mixed to our spec. I love the mangoes. We're getting used to what they look like now and what diseases hit them and how to watch for temperature and moisture around them, humidity. To know more about pesticides, I should have read up a lot more about that and how to spray a tree properly. The first couple years, that's quite important, how to spray it.
Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. Here I am with Bill, and Bill is from a place called Stanley Mangoes here in Pine Island, Florida. And Bill has over 200 acres of mangoes growing. He sells mango trees on a wholesale level. Thanks for being on the show today, Bill.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to ask Bill, we're going to do something different today. We're not going to go around and look at mango trees and talk about or show a lot of the trees, but we're going to ask Bill for his experience and what he's learned as a businessman in the business of growing mangoes. And within that conversation, we're going to find out tips and suggestions that are going to help you, whether you're a backyard grower or you're interested in doing this for a business. Bill, thanks for having us on the show today.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, here we go. Okay. All right, everybody, so this is Bill, and Bill has a place called Stanley Mangoes here in Pine Island, Florida. So, Bill, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Great. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Good.
Can you tell everybody what is Stanley Mangoes and what inspired you to start it?
Well, Stanley's Mangoes started back in 2012. I bought my first farm, and actually I went over to Australia to visit my daughter, and my daughter and my wife were eating mangoes over there, and I had bought the first farm, as I said, and they love mangoes, so we started planting a few mangoes, and since then it just grew. We have now over 240 acres roughly, all planted in mangoes, and then we couldn't get enough trees, grafted trees to plant, so then we started this nursery, and now we're doing about 150,000 grafted trees a year just to supply other people at the same time.
And it's all mangoes? All mangoes,
yes.
So do you sell on a wholesale level or retail level or both?
Both.
Both?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And we have about 45 different varieties now that we have planted throughout the farms, and then here different varieties too, from orange sherbet to the old Valencia Pride, which is a really nice one, Sunrise, a lot of different varieties. And we'll graft to whatever a person wants. If they want to order 500 trees of a certain variety, we'll find the scions and graft them.
Sunrise is actually my favorite variety.
Good.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So when you got this farm, what inspired you initially to say, okay, did you grow up growing fruit trees or anything to do with that?
No, I was in construction rental. So I had nothing to do with the farm, really.
So you retire, and then what, was it your daughters that liked mangoes that inspired you, or what inspired you?
Well, when I was first born, I grew up on a farm. And then we left the farm when we were young, about 16 years old, and went down to a city called Toronto up in Canada and started a construction rental business and did that for about 40 years. And then when I retired, as I said, when I went to Australia, that's where my wife and my daughter over there, granddaughters, love mangoes. So that's when we started planting them here. And it just kept growing and growing. But yeah, I love the trees because, hey, you walk around and they never talk back. You just enjoy them.
What kind of farm did you grow up on?
Mostly cash crop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just mangoes, nothing else?
Just mangoes, yep. We don't have anything else.
Is there a reason why you haven't gotten into other fruit trees, or is it just mangoes because they like mangoes?
There's no other reason. No, maybe someday we will get into grafting other trees like avocados or something, but right now just mangoes.
Okay, so is the average person that comes to buy mangoes from you, is it a person ordering 500 trees, or is it the average person with a backyard ordering one tree?
It's mostly wholesale, where they want 100 to 1,000 trees, yeah. Okay. We don't sell that much, one or two here and there. We do a few people, but not really, no.
What's the most requested mango tree variety that you get?
I would say between Kerry, Namdok Mai, there's not really one. There's likely about 10 of the main ones. And yeah, Sunrise to a certain level, Prom Kaimea, different varieties like that, but not just one particular one.
Okay, we have this, looking at your nursery here and all the trees, do you have trees personally at your house in the ground growing that are giving you mangoes, or is it all nurseries?
Yeah, we have 225 acres of trees planted in the ground, and yes, a lot of them are giving us fruit now.
So you also sell fruit as well?
Yes.
And do you sell in the mail, or is it strictly local?
Both. We can do mail order, or we can do right from the farm. Most of it sells right from the farm. If I had 1 million pounds coming up in the next few weeks from harvest, I could sell it all right from the farm. That's how busy it is for
Was
mangoes.
that farm an existing farm, or did you just buy the land and start growing the trees?
Everything I bought was treed already, but not with mango trees, with old palm trees, which we had to take down, regrade, do the irrigation, and then plant the trees.
When you replanted the trees, what size trees did you plant?
3 gallon.
3 gallon.
Everything was 3 gallons, same as you see here.
And how long before you were able to get fruit on 3 gallons?
I would guess we started getting some fruit after about 5 years.
Okay.
We wait the 5 years. We trim the trees, try to get them nice and strong and a good root base and a good trunk, so we don't pick the fruit quick. No.
Did somebody advise you when you started planting the trees the best way to plant them distance-wise, and any tricks of the trade to get the most fruit quickly?
Unfortunately, no. I never knew enough to ask the right questions. I did do some reading, and I followed people over in India, and they planted theirs quite close. 15 by 10, 15 by 15 foot spacings. And over in India, that worked out very well, except they use manual labor. Over here, we use equipment. You know, we have the big sprayers, the big tractors and stuff. So I had to go buy a tree spade, and the first farm is we had to separate it up to, now we plant 20 by 20, and we keep everything trimmed, pruned down to approximately 15 to 17 foot high, and then we prune the sides, so it's easy to get through with our equipment.
So from your experience, a 20 by 20 is ideal, would you say, for your situation?
Sorry.
That's okay.
For us, a 20 by 20 spacing seems to work best, because then we get about 90 trees per acre on average. So if we went to 30 by 30, you're getting like 45. So even though we prune them down, we still get better production.
But as planting them closer, what was the issue? They would just they didn't get the size you wanted because they would grow into each other?
We couldn't get the sprayers through and the equipment through. Even to cut the grass, well, the grass would all die then. But yeah, the production just went down.
Somebody with their own backyard, would you still recommend 20 by 20, or would you recommend closer can work if somebody's willing to prune the trees every day or every season?
It depends on how high you want them to grow. I would likely go 15 foot away from each other if I had them in my backyard, and then prune them down.
Not any closer?
No.
Okay.
No. That's just a personal preference, though.
Sure.
Because I don't want to go up 30, 40 feet in the air to pick a mango. I'd like to keep them down around 15 foot. Then I can get them with a hand picker quite easily.
But if you were going to go wider, then you can go higher. But if you're going to go closer, you should keep them even shorter.
That's what I usually like to do, yes.
Okay.
It allows the sun in more for the ripening and stuff.
So the shorter you keep it, the better it is, or the higher, or the size you're talking about is ideal for you?
No, it depends on how the sun hits it. The more sun on that tree and the more sun on the mango produces a better mango.
Gotcha.
So,
have there been some mangoes you've grown out of the varieties you grow that you find are more superior in terms of how often they fruit, disease resistance, and
oh, for sure. I'm finding that the older varieties are way, what's the word, stronger. And the newer varieties that have been crossbred and done a lot of stuff like that, or cross-pollinated, whatever the word is, I find they take a lot more tender care.
You're talking about from a disease resistance standpoint?
Disease, yeah, for sure. Need more chemicals on them, and more bugs will attract them, funguses, stuff like that.
In terms of funguses and chemicals, do you spray all your trees?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think somebody in a small backyard situation can do well if they have the right varieties without spraying?
It depends on where they're located. If they get a fungus on it, you have to spray it. You know, but you don't have to use a harsh chemical. You can almost use a soap and wipe it down if it's 1 or 2 trees by hand. So it's really not a harsh chemical that you have to worry about. But when you get up to 250 acres of trees, you have to use, let's say, like a sulfur or copper fungicide, stuff like that, and to clean that, make sure the fungus comes off.
I used to believe mangoes and avocados were the easiest things to grow in Florida, but considering how much work to keep the trees clean, and avocados are another story because they get a beetle that's destroying a lot of the groves, but mangoes, it's a lot of work to keep the funguses off the trees and things like this, even the older varieties. When there are fruit trees out there that don't have these issues, that don't need to spray, do you think mangoes are the most beneficial or best selection of fruit to plant?
I've never thought about it, so I'm not sure. We've just always planted mangoes. I love the mangoes. We're getting used to what they look like now and what diseases hit them and how to watch for temperature and moisture around them, you know, humidity. So I've never planted anything else, so I can't answer you, sorry.
What about at your house with your personal trees? Do you have anything other than mangoes?
We have a lemon tree, but that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you eaten other fruits other than mangoes?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Is there something you like that you say, I should look into planting that, or not, it hasn't interested you?
No, I'm starting to like mangoes more and more every day.
What's your personal favorite mango? From all the varieties, how many varieties do you have?
Oh, I think we have, I don't know now, 45.
Okay, what's your personal favorite one from a tasting standpoint?
I don't think I have one. Again, there's likely 6 or 7.
What's your top 6?
A Carry, Numduck Mai, Sunrise I like a lot. Different ones like that. We have orange sherbet. We have some coconut cream. But they're a bit harder to grow, that's all. And their production isn't as well as the other ones.
What's harder to grow?
The coconut cream and the orange sherbet.
They're harder to grow?
Yeah.
And why do you say that?
Just from experience planting them out here in the field. For our Carry, the Floragon, they're just easier to grow.
And what do you mean easier and harder? You mean production-wise? You mean disease-wise? What do you mean? Both.
Production-wise and disease-wise, yeah. You know.
So tell us some of the challenging ones to grow. Give us like the 5, because people are going to watch this and they don't know a lot about this. And just like you were telling me about learning from people, from your experience that you've had, your short experience but a lot of volume, what's 5 or 6 varieties that take more work to grow in your opinion?
I would say Keel Savoy, coconut cream, orange sherbet. The newer varieties like that take a lot more work.
Okay.
The older varieties like a Valencia Pride, you throw the seed in the pot and that thing just grows. Plant it in the ground and it just keeps going.
So what's your top 3 best varieties for growing? Valencia Pride, what else?
Valencia Pride, definitely. The Numduck Mai, it does take a bit of spray, but it's just a good producer. And then the Carry, Prom Kai Mia, ones like that.
And the amazing thing is we're in Southwest Florida, everybody. That's what's working here in Southwest Florida. And as you go to different areas, different things are going to work. I've known people say that orange sherbet was the best,
yeah,
and the most disease resistant. But in your particular situation, you can even be at the next grove over and have a different experience.
That's correct.
Yeah,
yep, I agree.
So now you do have several different areas around here. Do some do different in other areas?
No, they're pretty much all the same.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. When I went to Zill's nursery, they said Sunrise does well here, but at the Zill house, they said it does terrible. And they're only a couple miles from each other.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. Yeah, I haven't found that here.
Do you grow lemon zest?
Yes.
What do you think of the taste of that?
Love it. Yeah.
How is that to grow? Any issues?
We haven't yet. had no issues. But again, we spray, you know. Let's move over out of the,
Sure.
or maybe the shearway. I think the wind's blowing that way.
Okay, so look at all these trees behind us. I see all these 3 gallons. Do you normally sell your trees in 3 gallons, or do you often get into 7, 15, and 25?
We started the nursery about 3 years ago, and we thought everything was sold in 3-gallon pots. But now we're realizing we're selling a lot in 1-gallon pots, 3 gallons, 7, and a lot of requests for 25-gallon pots. So we've set up a brand new area over there, which will be all 25-gallon pots. We'll put them there, and we try to leave them till they're well rooted. We won't sell anything unless it's well rooted. Even a 3-gallon pot, once we transfer it, we try to leave it about 4 to 5 months to make sure the roots. And we learned that from, and if you ever go to buy a tree, we learned that by planting here, that we bought some trees from some of the different nurseries, and we took the tree out of the pot, all the earth fell off. They had no roots.
Because it was newly potted.
It was newly potted. Well, being green at it, I didn't know any better. But now what we found that we leave ours at least 4 months, and then that way, when we take it out, it's well rooted. We put it in the ground, and it never shocks that much. So our success rate is likely 95% now, where before it was likely 80%.
Do you ship in the mail?
We started a few, but not very much, no.
Okay. So as for the trees here, I see the soil you're using. Is it any special soil that you use?
Yes, we have that mixed to our spec.
Is it top secret, or do you want to share or recommend what people can use if they were growing a mango seed?
I think what you have to do is depend where you're located. We're very sandy soil here, so our soil is quite light. Where if you have a heavier soil, you might want it a bit different. So I'd rather recommend that to the Harmadines of the world that are really experts on it. I'm not an expert in that. Now he's a gentleman that is our consultant, and he helps us a lot doing that.
Sure. Now you spray your trees that are in the ground. When it's got trees like this, do you have to spray trees in pots?
Yes, we spray those also. Just for bugs, mostly. Yeah.
And once you get fruit on the tree, do you have to spray the fruit as well as the tree?
We don't know. So, even before that, usually once it starts forming, we stop all our spraying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and from an organic standpoint, do you spray only organic, or do you just spray what's going to work regardless?
We try to spray all organic, but we're not organic certified.
Okay.
Try to keep the trees as clean as we can.
Is there anything, Bill, that separates you apart from the other average nursery that's doing the same thing, growing mangoes? Not that you know all of them out there, but is there something different that you're doing, or are you both just doing what's the goal to get people mangoes?
I think our goal is just to get people mango trees, and what we've done is tried to do the volume now. So in just doing maybe 5,000 or 10,000, this year I think we're up to about 150,000. So that way, if people need them, they know they can come here and get them. You can notice the different sizes as you look around, and we want to stock a lot of 25 and 45 gallon ones too. So if people want a large tree, you know, another nursery can call us up and pick up 10 45 gallon trees. They don't have to wait 2 years for it to grow.
Sure. And when the trees are in a pot, I see you got all these sprinklers around. How often do you water them?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Now what about when they're in the ground? Do you water your trees that are in the ground?
Every day. We give them 5 gallons, every tree, every day, in the ground.
Every day of the year,
every
5
day.
gallons?
Yep.
Which is amazing, because I've been to some other places out here, and they say they don't give them anything. And
that's correct.
You both have great mango.
Yeah. Now, sometimes we shut it off. It's really wet. You know, if a hurricane comes through and you get all this water, we'll shut it off. But usually we're watering almost every day. Yeah.
And how did the hurricanes affect you? Because you had some big ones out here. Did they?
It was terrible, terrible. What you can see here was all gone. It blew everything away. Even the steel fence over there was gone.
Wow.
Put it right on its side. Yeah, it put us back about 3 years. Yeah. And the trees out in the field are just starting to come back now because they got blown over. We had to stand them up. And then 2 years later, we got hit by 2 more hurricanes, only 5-6 months ago. So yes, it hurt us a lot, yeah.
Did they ever discourage you to stop doing this, or did it just make you say, I'm going to continue?
No, you feel bad when you come and you see everything upside down and all ripped apart. But all you do is put one foot in front of the other and keep working. Hey, everybody here wants a job and they want to work. And I keep doing it,
I get the feeling that's the kind of attitude you had in life with everything.
Yeah, you just got to work.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's better than sitting at home. Imagine if you never had a job to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could walk. Let's take a walk
Sure.
while we're talking. All right. So, all right.
Another thing I did is I made sure I bought all the equipment we need. So when you go around this farm or any farm, you notice an excavator back there. So we dig all our own trenches, put all our own irrigation, and we rely on no one else. I bought a big front end loader. I bought a dozer. Whatever we have to do, we do it ourselves. And we have the people here that can run the equipment, along with myself. We have our own man lift. It goes up 45 feet high, so we want to trim trees or go up and pick mangoes. Over in Australia, I noticed they had a picker where the guy goes up in the picker. He has a bit of water. He can wash the sap right off the mango. It slides down a little canvas chute right into a holder, and he can drop a great big bin and then keep picking all day. And that's what we have going now too.
Wow.
So we're trying to modernize more and more and getting larger and larger.
Is there a well on the property here?
There's a well in every property we have, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How deep is it here, the well?
The one at the home farm is 270 feet.
Oh, that's pretty
but
deep
the water
for this area.
usually comes in around 80 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, but the well itself.
But the table here is so low.
Yeah, I think we're at 80 feet.
Okay.
The water table. So we have lots of water. Nice.
No,
fresh.
not 80 feet. I mean, somebody told me you could dig 10 feet and get hit water.
Yeah, but that's more surface water. It's not an aquifer that I know of.
Uh-huh.
Now, we use LaBelle well drilling, and they're quite good. And they look after all our wells for it. So I'd have to go to them and ask them where the aquifers are in every farm.
Because I have a well in my house in West Palm, Lake Worth, and I'm only maybe 18 feet down.
Yeah, wow.
And I get the good water I get.
Well, we're on an island here. We're not in the mainland.
Yeah.
So that aquifer runs right down through the center of the island, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and what about, do you work with any, you want to keep walking?
Sure.
Yeah, it's good for the camera. Do you work with any nonprofits? If people want donation of trees, do you do anything like that, charity work?
As of yet, no. I've never been requested to do that.
Is that something you'd be open to?
Oh, yeah. Why not? You got to help each other in this world.
Sure. Getting the word out about mangoes.
Yeah.
And so has every variety that you have you've tasted?
No.
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 So why do you have some varieties that you didn't taste?
I don't like the green mango. I watch people come in and they love the green mango. They'll put hot sauce on it or stuff like that. I just don't like it.
When you say you don't like it, have you tried it and didn't like it, or you just don't like the idea of it?
Just don't even like the idea of it, no.
Because I had that same thought, and then I tried a Prom Kaime, and it was one of the sweetest mangoes I've ever had, and it was green.
So maybe I should open up to more.
It'd be good to try, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't.
So besides those green ones, are there any varieties that you don't have yet that you want to get?
I would assume there's thousands of varieties out there that we should have more and more. But the problem is you can only plant so many on the farms. And as we buy more farms, then we'll plant more and whatever sells the best.
Sure.
What the people want.
From a commercial standpoint, are you looking to get the most popular ones, or are you not looking to get the unknown ones that make something popular, or what?
No, the popular ones, because that's what people ask for. They like the Carries, they like the Valencia Pride, they like the Nam Duc Mai, stuff like that. Keel Savoy, Prom Kaime, just what you said. We sell a lot of those, yeah.
Yeah.
We hardly get any calls for the off varieties, we'll call them, the ones that have to look up the names from. They like the Glen. We get a lot of call for Glen, things like that, yeah.
But most people don't know about Sunrise, believe it or not. Maybe your calls, but when I tell people that's my favorite, they're like, what's that?
Yeah.
So
we get a lot of people like the Sunrise here.
And how do
Maybe because we have them.
Yeah, how do they grow on your property? Do the trees grow in fruit well?
Yes, very well. That's not in this year property. Most of these are Numduck Mai here on this farm.
Oh, you have some trees over there?
Yeah,
Come
our
on.
home farm has the Sunrise and the different varieties like that. And they were planted back in 2012. These trees here, I think were planted in 2019, 2020. So you can see the difference in size and coming.
Now, what made you plant like Sunrise? Did you taste it and you're like, we got to have this one, or did somebody recommend it?
No, it's what people ask for when they come in to buy fruit from us.
Yeah.
You know, it depends what part of the country they're from and what nationality they are. You can almost tell where a person's from by what mango they ask for to buy to eat. 'Cause
Yeah.
they like it, you know.
Do you have a lot of requests for Jamaican or Caribbean mangoes? Like
No.
Gary or East Indian?
A lot of,
Not Gary, I mean Julia or East Indian.
no, not very much.
Really? Wow.
Mostly Kerry, Kaiser for the Indian population, and the Asian population more the green mango, things like
So you
that.
haven't tapped into the Caribbean mango yet?
not yet.
Oh, wow. Wow.
We have planted some Super Julie, and our 20-acre farm over there, we planted about 10 acres of those.
That's nice.
And
Yeah.
they'll come along.
East Indian and Julie, they love.
Yeah.
They really love. So this farm here, how old did you say it was? This one, this particular one?
I would suspect around 2019 we planted these. Yeah.
This was the palm farm that you took the palm
Yes.
trees out?
Yeah, all this. We had to take all the palm trees out of here. And then what I've done is a bit different than most places, is we bought a big grader and we made ditches for everyone. So we hill everything up. So then when the heavy rain, the small roots don't sit in the water.
And for mango trees, do you find that makes a difference?
I can't answer you, I don't have enough experience.
Okay, okay.
But I sure think so. You know, for any fruit tree, keeping the roots out of the water.
When did you plant these trees?
2019, 2020.
So about 5 or 6 years ago. They all look small. Like, do you keep them small?
We do prune them back, yes. Yeah. Keep them and try to get the trunk a lot larger and get the root system bigger.
How far apart are they?
20 foot,
20 by 20?
20 by 20, yeah.
That's the way I recommend it. That's beautiful. That gives them enough room.
Yeah, lots of sun to
Lots
get
of
that
sun.
sugar count up. Yeah.
Well, is Har the one that recommended 20 by 20?
No, actually, we learned that from the home farm when we planted them too close. We had them by, 15 by 15.
There you
And
go.
after a year, we realized, hey, you can't drive equipment through it.
But even without the equipment, like you were saying earlier, 20 by 20 still gets the most tree to the sun, sun to the tree.
Yeah, that's right. And keep them pruned back a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Wow. And do you label these, or do you know what they all are offhand?
We know what they are, yeah. But we do label a lot of them,
So now, do you have a big issue with raccoons and squirrels and things like this?
Hogs.
Hogs.
A lot of wild hogs here.
Really?
Oh, hundreds of them. They really affect the tree when the tree's young like this. So next year we'll likely let the fruit grow and the hog will jump up on the tree and break the tree off. So we have traps set around to take the hogs away.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for 5 years, you don't let the fruits grow on the tree.
No.
And then you let them fruit. You've learned a lot. That's good.
Wow.
You're good.
We're trying. We're trying.
And did you do that previously, or did you learn?
We learned that.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so the hogs are messing with the tree. What about raccoons or anything like that?
We haven't seen much of that. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about two-legged animals like humans? Have you had any issues with them taking mangoes or anything?
Not as of yet, but we are putting up gates and cameras and stuff like that to try to stop that. And we just bought for the other end of this property, it's open to the road. We just bought a bunch of arecas. We'll plant those and try to put a wall up to stop people from coming in, But most people are pretty good. Yeah. They come in the front and try to buy it from us, so that's good.
Yeah. And your retail store is here on Pine Island.
Yes.
Any other locations anywhere else, or thinking about putting locations anywhere else?
No, just here in the island. Love it.
Here and where? Here now?
Just here in the island, yeah.
Okay. Now, what about, so you're from Canada.
Yes.
Any aspirations? Do you ship fruit to Canada and sell it there, or no?
No.
Don't need to. Everything
need to.
sells out here.
Right out of the farm, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So give us an example last year, Bill, of how much fruit sold for. Does it go by variety or by pound or what?
We sell everything by the pound. And this year we were $4.50 a pound. And everything we can get, we sell.
$4.50 a pound,
Yeah.
no matter how much they order.
No matter how much they order.
Okay.
And we get lots of guys who come in, they want 1,000, 2,000 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's no wholesale or retail. That's your price.
That's the price, yeah.
For the mangoes. The trees you do wholesale.
That's correct.
But the mangoes, there's no wholesale price for local stores. You're selling it at $4.50 a pound last year.
Yep.
Regardless.
Yep.
Okay. No matter how much they want to order.
That's correct.
Okay. And how many days a week are you open?
In harvest, 7 days. This year might change a bit because of the hurricane, because our production is very low this year, you know. So I would say likely only maybe 3 days a week this year.
So if the production is lower, does that mean the demand will be higher and the price might go up?
No, we're going to keep the same price.
Okay.
Demand will be higher. There'll be more people asking for it, but you just can't supply them, which is unfortunate.
Is that in line with, did you create that pricing to see what other nurseries are charging, or did you just felt like that was a good number?
We're just looking at how much it costs us. So we look at our own costs, nobody else's.
Okay.
I could phone around and find out, but I'm not sure what other people charge.
So you don't know or consider what other people are charging when you set your price. You're just strictly looking at your cost.
Yeah.
Because it comes out to around that same area, so that's interesting because they probably do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from a business standpoint, not to get too private, I mean, if somebody's a businessman, is the mango business a decent profit, or is there better things that are gonna people can do with their time versus money?
It's farming. So farming's farming. You either enjoy it or you don't. If you like coming out and looking at trees and enjoy, Mother Nature hitting you with a hurricane once in a while, then you'll love farming. If you don't enjoy that, then you shouldn't be in farming.
Got to do what you enjoy, more important than
That's
anything.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You can put your money in a bank and get, 4 or 5% too.
Yeah.
Which might be easier some days,
Yeah. But as opposed to opening like a fast food restaurant where you might make more, but it's not as rewarding.
That's correct.
Yeah. And as long as, Dave Ramsey, a good financial guy, said something once where he goes, if you're not making money, you just have an expensive hobby. Would you agree with that?
Well, this is an expensive hobby, yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's not a profitable business.
Well, you'll make money at it, but it's a lot of work. You have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy it, yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. No, you can always make money at stuff.
Yeah.
There's always likely something better or greener on the other side, but, it depends what you enjoy. A lot of people might like the fast food industry, and that's what they enjoy. I don't. I enjoy the farm and walking around, seeing the trees growing. And
All right. Important question. From your experience, how long have you been growing now?
Since 2013.
2013, over 100 acres of mangoes growing, right?
240, I think.
Okay. What are the top 3 things you wish you knew as terms of mistakes to help people avoid that you've learned so far? I know you don't know everything and you consult people still, but what are the top 3 warnings you would give people if they wanted to plant this, not even commercially, in their own backyard, mangoes?
I say plant them high and dry. Don't let them sit in the deep water and get their feet wet, because their roots will just start fungus and rot. To know more about pesticides. I should have read up a lot more about that and how to spray a tree properly. The first couple of years, that's quite important, how to spray it. I think that's the 2 biggest ones. The third one's just looking after the tree, fertilizing it, stuff like that.
Okay, within the first 5 years where you're not picking fruit, do you even need to spray?
We do, yeah. We try
What's
to keep.
the point if you're not caring about the fruit?
We like to keep the tree healthy.
Gotcha.
We don't want fungus all over it and things like that.
All right, so those are the 3 things to avoid, or I guess what's the top things that people should do? Same thing, there's 3 tips. I guess it's the opposite. The answer is the same. Makes the top things you should do is the same things you should avoid.
That's right, yes.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. Now, this is another one, because I asked you this question earlier. You do have children, but not your children in particular, but if somebody wanted to get into this and they were like children to you, if they enjoy this, would you give them the thumbs up, or would you say, stay away from this business?
No, I'd give them thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's very rewarding. Like when you see all these trees full of fruit and people are coming in to buy it, we have lineups at the farm and people just love it. And we give samples over at the farm. So the person comes in and they have their kids and they take tours of the farm. They just love it.
Now, you can grow berries and fruits in Canada, in every climate, in every state. Being from Canada, why not Canada? Why don't you grow like persimmons up in Canada and sell them, or some other fruit, the apples or something? Why is your passion just mangoes? That's all it is. At the time, it just had to be mangoes, and this is where you grow the mangoes?
Well, I like coming down here in the wintertime. Look at the temperature. Look at this place. It's gorgeous. It's a paradise. So, and that's, but I didn't want to sit around and do nothing. So I wanted to start something down here during the wintertime.
Okay. Very well. All right, everybody, there it was. Bill, thank you so much for sharing that great knowledge with us.
Thank you.
All right. This has been amazing, and hopefully it'll bless you, because we need this type of information to help us make our choices. But please remember, everything Bill said was for his experience here in Southwest Florida on Pine Island. Where you are, you might have a different experience. You could even be in the next yard and have a different experience. The best way to learn is to do it yourself and see what works best for you and your goals. And that's what Bill has done. And he's willing and open to make the adjustments of the things he's learned. So have an open mind and experiment and enjoy it. That's the most important thing. So Bill, thank you again. Everybody, I'm going to put the link below for Stanley Mangoes if you want to order trees wholesale. If you want to get amazing mangoes, come visit Pine Island, Florida, and get the Stanley Mangoes here during season. They have amazing mangoes. Do you ship in the mail the mangoes?
Yes.
Oh, they ship in the mail as well, so definitely get on their website. The link is below, Stanley's Mangoes. Thank you for watching, everybody. And if you know somebody growing any tropical fruits and you'd like me to come on out and feature them on the channel, my email's below. Until then, everybody, have a great day and keep growing.